Hi everyone! First of all, we want to express our gratitude to all of you who have seen this video. As you can see on the screen, our topic today is export in Indonesia. Come on, let's learn more about Group F for bodies that have different characteristics from up Group F. Alvira, who is sensitive, Gaby, who is innocent, Marshanda, who is credulous, and Virginia, who is laid back. Export is according to the Ministry of Trade of the Republic of Indonesia. Export is an activity of removing goods from the Indonesian custom area to the custom area of other countries. Usually, the export process starts from an offer from a party accompanied by approval from another party through the sales contract process. In this case, the exporter and importer. Export activities have the following objective. First, controlling product prices. Second, increase the country's foreign exchange. And the last, increase employment.
Then, why should it export? Factors that can encourage producers or business actors to carry out export activities include: the first, traditional commodities. Usually, a company produces a commodity as a continuation or remnants of colonial era economic relics such as rubber, coffee, tea, paper, tengkeweng, tin, copper, and other similar mining products. The second, profit optimization. In addition to selling a domestic product, with export, a company is able to expand the sales area to abroad. Besides that, the types of goods offered are not limited to domestic consumers only. The third, market search. For companies that have a strong domestic market, export are an opportunity to diversify the market that can strengthen the position of traded commodities. The fourth, utilization of excess capacity. If the production capacity of an industry still does not exceed the capacity of the machine, the remaining capacity can be used to meet the export market. In addition, export-oriented products. Then, trade house, and the last, highly competitive commodities. There are requirements to become an exporter. To become an export company, it must meet the following conditions. The first, legal entity in the form of Commanditaire Vennootschap, limited liability company, public company, service company, and cooperation. Then, to become an exporter in Indonesia, must have an NPWP or taxpayer number and have one of the permits issued by the government.
Next, types of export financing. In order to support export activities can be broadly distinguished as follows. First, controlling product prices. A country that carries out export activities is able to take advantage of excess capacity in a product. That way, the country is considered able to control the price of export products that occur in their country. Other than that, the order for the country to be able to control prices in the market, it must carry out export activities to other countries that need such products. 2. Increase the country foreign exchange. The existence of export activities is useful for opening up new opportunities abroad. This opportunity will grow the expansion of the domestic market, investment, and foreign exchange in a country. Third, increase employment. Indirectly, the export activities carried out will create new jobs. That way, export activities also reduce the unemployment rate. There are several legal bases governing the levy of export tax in Indonesia, including: first, Law Number 42 of 2009 concerning value-added tax and sales tax on luxury goods. Second, Regulation of the Minister of Finance. Third, Perdirjen Pajak concerning value-added tax, treatment of business activities. Types of export taxable services. The following are the types of export taxable services, namely service and goods. The first is service. Number 1. Transportation management services. French forwarder. The service serves the transportation of taxable goods intended outside the custom area or goods to be exported. Number 2. Maklon services. Services that carry out the process of completing a certain item and can enjoy a 0% rates when meeting certain conditions. Number 3. Construction consulting services includes the assessment, planning, and design of construction related to buildings or building plans that are outside the custom area. Number 4. Interconnection services and satellite maintenance include transmitter and responder services, international call or short message network service, global internet connection service, satellite control services. Number 5. Information technology services include computer system design, analysis, and manufacturing services, cloud computing and web hosting services, content creation services such as animation, video, games, and graphic design, information technology security services, contact center services. Without not, all such services are ordered and received by parties outside the custom area. Number 6. Repair and maintenance services. These services include movable and immovable goods that are used or shipped outside the custom area. The last 7. Other services. Other services in question include business consulting services, as long as these services are accepted by foreign parties or outside the custom area, and transportation equipment rental services in the form of aircraft or a ship rental. Number 1. Wood. Timber accommodation subject to export taxes include shell wood, veneer wood, and other processed products. The government has set this timber export tax at 15%. Number 2. Rattan. Types of rattan that are subject to export tax, including original rattan, rattan that has been smooth surface, rattan skin, and rattan liver. The amount of export tax for rattan objects is 15%. Number 3. Oil palm. The types of palm oil that are subject to export tax are crude palm oil and its derivative products. Number 4. Sand. The government also imposes a 15% export tax on sand commodities. Sand commodities subject to export tax include natural sand, silica sand, and quartz sand, and other goods.
Okay, next we will discuss about export tax rates for goods and services. For export goods, the government exempts export-oriented entrepreneurs from the levy of duties. In fact, the government provides incentives in the form of tax refunds or tax restitution on exported goods. But there are some commodities or goods that remain subject to export tax. With this, the Ministry of Trade through the Directorate General of National Export Development, or we can say DGPN, requires that export tax must be paid first before goods enter the transport. Commodity export tax are set based on the export benchmark price or HBA. This HBA is determined by the Minister of Trade and strengthened by decree of the Minister of Finance, or we can say KMK. HBA is not originally determined because its determination is based on international average prices.
or it can be used the average free on board VOB price. The export tax rate for commodities or goods formula is as follows. First, calculation based on the concept of ad valorem percentage. We can see on the screen how it is calculated. And second, we can have a calculation based on the concept of ad naturam specific. Okay, tariffs on export of value-added taxable goods or VAT for export of intangible taxable goods and export of taxable services are regulated in Article 7, Paragraph 2 of the HPP law. The VAT rate on export goods and services is 0%, which includes first, export of tangible taxable goods, second, export of intangible taxable goods, and the third, for the last, export of taxable services. The VAT rate of 0% of GKP export is calculated by multiplying the VAT rate by the tax imposition basis GPP. On the basis of written agreement between PKP and GKP export recipient, it must clearly state the following condition, namely first, details of the activities generated within the custom area to be utilized outside the customs area by GKP export recipients. And the last one is surrender value. If the GKP export activities carried out do not meet the requirements, PKP will be subject to VAT at a rate of 11%.
Do you know that Indonesia produces superior goods that boost the national income and foreign exchange of our nation? Yes, that's right, the palm oil sector, where our nation managed to conduct export activities with a total of $28.1 billion, or the equivalent of 393.4 trillion rupiah in 2018 is the solution. I think it's really fantastic. Therefore, let's make the most of Indonesia's natural resource and then promote the country on a global scale. Indonesia is powerful and we are fantastic.